Welcome back to Across the Gridiron, and today I am alone. Matt's away this week, so you're stuck with me. But it means that there's probably fewer interruptions, right? And we can get straight into it. It's this Christmas time, and so you're probably going to see quite a bit of this variety from us. It might be a little bit of a challenge for both of us to be able to record at the same time, so please bear with us over the Christmas period. But we will try and bring you as much, content, as we can, especially as things are starting to heat up in the NFL. And it's a kind of a bittersweet week that we go into. So recording this a little bit late, so I do apologize. Please do go ahead and check out our review of week 14, what we thought about the games, what we thought, how that impacts the playoffs going forward. And please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We really, really do appreciate that. This is our oxygen, is how we grow this channel. And we really, really love that. So thank you for all of those that have been following us, watching us, and liking and subscribing and sharing this with other people as well. So I do have Matt's picks. You're probably gonna miss the segment where he actually taunts me for how bad my picks are. But I have a feeling that I did pretty well in the last one. So I'm gonna wait for Matt because he holds that. He does the graphics and all of that. So we'll see how that goes. But we want to go into week 15. Week 15. And this is really where contenders are separated in the NFL from pretenders. We've got division under pressure. And I love the way that the NFL have done this, especially in the late games right now. A lot of division games, where it doesn't matter about form or anything. You just know that this can be a squeaky bomb time, as we say it here in the UK, for a lot of teams, right? We've got wild card teams that are fighting for oxygen. The Dallas Cowboys, they're not really a wild card team, but they are hoping they can sneak in. And there are one or two teams that are thinking about January and thinking this is their year, a la Bills, uh, Broncos and Patriots. But guys, let's get straight into it. Enough of me, talking and wobbling. Let's look at, what our picks are for the week 15, and let's see whether you agree or disagree with what we've gone for. Okay, we're gonna start with the AFC East. The Patriots versus the Bills. And we did a feature with the Patriots at the start of the season where we had, one of our friends from the US who's been a diehard Patriots fan, Matt joined. And Matt, I'm sure you must be loving, what's going on with the Patriots this season. Absolutely incredible. When we looked at this division at the start of the season, we were kind of saying, well, this is probably the Bills division, and then maybe the Patriots, and maybe the Dolphins might be fighting for second. Boy, were we so wrong. Very wrong about that. The Patriots are absolutely demolishing their way into the playoffs. And hey, not all their wins have been pretty, but they have been wins regardless. And I know right now their record, shows that they've probably got some buffer. But I think that, this is a game that is desperate for the Bills. I think that the Bills want to make sure that they have a solid footing in that wild card spot, because I don't think they're going to catch the Patriots, who are sitting top of the division right now. But Buffalo are trending upwards. They're trending quite well in terms of offensive display. And they're having fewer store drives, and I think that in games like this the QB ceiling does matter, right? You've got Josh Allen on one side, who's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and then you've got Drake May on the other side as well. And I think this is a desperation game, for Bills. I think it's a game that the Bills want to make sure that they're going into this playoffs very hot. And for the Patriots, of course, they will love to win. It's a division game, but I feel like there is still credit for the Patriots, even if they lose this one to the Bills. So for that reason, both me and Matt are actually going for the Bills, which is kind of annoying because I wanted him to go for something else because I really need to get up on those points. but the Bills win this game. Okay, we're gonna flip to the NFC, a little bit now because this is another NFC game, the Rams versus the Lions, and this one feels like a playoff preview. It really does. The Lions have been hot and cold. They've been winning one, losing another. The Cowboys are gonna remember the loss of the Lions, which was really, really painful. But I think this is where styles, actually matter in this game. And I think the Rams are just the perfect team, to actually do some damage to the Lions. The Rams are, definition of a team that for me, I believe that is well balanced. This game might be decided by special teams. I know that the Lions, you really use that to win against the Cowboys because every time the Lions were starting off their drives were near midfield. So you only needed a couple of yards and you were field goal territory. So it's almost like a guarantee of points. Um, but the Rams are pretty good, with this too as well. So, and they're one of the best teams, in terms of finishing drives. And you can look at, Sean McVay as the coach, very, very good coach, probably one of the best coaches in the NFL, right now. And I think that he makes that difference, and the Rams get it done. So, I'm going to go with the Rams to win this, and Matt is doing the same, as well. He needs to stop picking my pigs. He needs to stop picking my pigs, because I'm trying to get points here. He's got too many points. He should be picking other teams. But I'm going for the Rams to win this as well. Okay, staying with another team that's closer. To the Lions, I'm going to look at the Broncos versus the Packers game. And this one really jumps off the screen, guys. The Broncos are currently now the number one seed in the AFC. And hey, it feels unreal, to be saying that because, the Broncos have never really been in that position where you're looking at them and thinking they might be going to the Super Bowl. And I'm sure they're pinching themselves, those Broncos fans, about what's going on there. But the Packers are pushing very hard. They're trying to get, to the top of their division, as well. The fact that the Packers actually beat the li- the Bears in the last game, and that does, very well for the Packers because right now they're sitting in the number two seed in the NFC and they really want to stay there, if I'm honest. I think that the Packers, want to end, the season, maybe even making a challenge to try and get that number one seed. We're talking about a Packers team that has got, Micah Parsons. You know how I feel about him, coming from Dallas to Green Bay. It's probably a reason why I always keep an eye, on this Packers team. But I think that the Packers are playing playoff football, already. They're situationally sharp. They have teams that are closing, they have players that are closing games, especially in the defense. And I think that defense continues to perform in this game. And listen, the Broncos are elite. Their defense, I believe, is top two or three right now in the NFL. So it's not gonna be easy, to move the ball on them. But I just think that there is just something about the X factor from the Packers in this game. So I think the Packers' ability, to win on the road matters in this game, because I think that if you look at the Packers in terms of what they've been able to do this season, they have won, some pretty good games, on the road. I mean, the one against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the one against the Bengals. Okay, you can kind of say, the Bengals are not anything good, but they recently won against Detroit, at Detroit, and that would be a very, very tough game by any standard, and they were able to get it done. So, I mean, if I look at the Packers, remaining schedule, they've got the Broncos outside, of the AFC. And so maybe if this is a game that they potentially wanted to drop, it would be this one. But I feel like it does help them get into the right space for the Bears game, which I think is ultimately going to decide the division, right? So they need to win this game and then go into that Bears game with confidence, so that they can actually, knock things off. So I'm going to go with the Packers win. Broncos is still elite. Um, but I think they do need a reminder that they are not invincible. I think same like the Rams got a reminder a couple of weeks ago. I think the Broncos also need that reminder, and they have had very close games, fourth quarter, comebacks and wins. But I think that this Packers team can close things down. So Matt is also going for that surprise, surprise, going for the Packers to win. So we go for the Packers to win this one as well. Okay, let's talk about my Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys. Yes. Um, Listen, the Dallas Cowboys have a very, very slim chance of getting into the playoffs. Let's not kid ourselves about it. We have fumbled this season, and there's no way about it. Starting off with trading one of your best player, Micah Parsons, and Jerry Jones might feel like he has won, the debate or won, the argument, but I don't think so. I think that this defense, could have been much better, especially in closing games. Because if you look at that Lions game, that was what was painfully obvious. Apart from the special teams that didn't play very well, allowing them to start in midfield. But when we got within 3 points of that game, all we needed was the defense to make a couple of stops. And so that the Dallas Cowboys can go in and close the game. And then we turn around, and before you know what is happening, two touchdowns by the Lions. I just I look at this game, and I think that the Cowboys can do damage here. Um, the Vikings are pretty much done, right? I don't see them getting out of that division in the NFC North. I think it's too strong. There are already three teams that are going to come out of that, but of course the Vikings are going to want to play spoilers. But this is a Jerry World. This game is the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys at Jerry World have done a lot better than going away from home. So I think that they can put in a good game, especially one that the special teams stand up. This is the kind of game that the Cowboys win. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys to win this game, and just hoping that the Eagles continue that stumble. But I don't know if that's likely, considering that they are playing the Raiders in the in this week's fixture. But we can hope. But if the Cowboys don't win, this game is done. It's the playoff is done. Just forget about it. Let's start looking at those draft picks that we got from Green Bay and what next season will look like. Okay, final game that we'll be looking at, Chiefs versus the Chargers. Did I also say that Matt went for the Cowboys to win? Yeah, he did go for the Cowboys to win, which is very annoying. Why is he going for the Cowboys? He likes to go against the Cowboys. But there you have it. Okay, let's look at the final game that we'll be predicting. Now, this is probably where Matt and I separate a little bit. So, and I think everyone is going to be watching this game for very different contexts and different meanings, right? There are a lot of people that still cannot write the Chiefs off, because the Chiefs are one of those teams that just have got the superpower, they've got the credentials, they've got the experience, they've done it before, and it's the Chiefs. So it's so difficult to rule them out. But I have ruled them out, for getting into the playoffs. So this is very strange why I have made the selection today. But here's why I'm taking the Chiefs in this game. Not because I think that they're going to go far in the division, because I actually think that they might not make out into the playoffs. But I just think that they are desperate. The Chiefs are desperate in this game. They're playing at home. Kansas City Chiefs would just want to do something respectable, even if it's just to prove that the Chargers don't sweep them. Because remember, the Chargers won this game early on in the season. So if they win this, they're going to sweep them. But the Chargers have got some problems coming into this game. I think Justin Herbert has been dealing with a problem with his hand. I think he had a surgery to fix that. And while they won against the Eagles in their last outing, I just think that the Chiefs are probably a better situational football than the Eagles, because I think the Eagles are a bit of a mess, even though I think that the Eagles defense is much better this season than the Chiefs defense. But I think situationally, I want to give the Chiefs the edge. So I'm gonna go for the Chiefs in this one because I think this is a survival game for them. They still believe that they can make it, contrary to what everybody else thinks. But I think Matt's gone the other way. He has. So this might be my point to get my chance to get the points up on Matt. He's backing the Chargers to pull the upset, and I don't know if it's really an upset. I think it's probably hard pressed to say that, beating the Chiefs is an upset this season. I think the Chiefs are probably predicted to be what they are this season. So yeah, Matt is going for the Chargers to win this, but I'm going for the Chiefs to win just. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Those are the Week 15 preview, and you can see it was nice, short, sharp, straight to the to the playoff consequences. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about the prediction for week 15. Who's getting upset this week, and who's about to regret December football. Matt will be back soon. I don't know if both of us will be back at the same time, but help us. Me and Matt are probably going to do this competition and see which video actually does the best. So help your boy out, watch this video, like, subscribe, and let's see, whether when Matt does his version in the next week, who actually, takes it. Even if I can't win him in the prediction, I do need to win him in something this season. But guys, that's been it. I'll sit back, relax, watch, and enjoy the games this week. I'm hoping for a Cowboys miracle. But let me know what you think. Are your team completely out of it? Do you think your team has got a chance? Put it all in the comment section, and I'll see you across the gridiron. I'm the bad guy. I'm the